Before I say what those are, let me just briefly say what women's symptoms are, particularly
Sure.
when women's adrenal function starts to drop. They have adrenal exhaustion. They have low fatigue. They have lots of fatigue, low energy. They tend to wake up many times in the night. They can't get a good night's sleep. And when they're going through the menopausal years, they'll have hot flashes, mood swings, eruptions of anger, and emotional outbursts. And this is really, really hard on marriage when women start having depletion of hormones. And some women, they just go and they go, the big fad is to go get these hormone creams that sometimes do help. But again, it's the symptomatic relief. The cause of it they have to look at, which is more oxytocin-stimulating activities, which would lower stress levels, learning how to balance blood sugar levels. And then the third thing is to regenerate the adrenal gland. And this is true for both men and women. And there's some natural foods that have been around for thousands of years in all of the major cultures that they're designed, well, they're just nature makes them this way, which will help the body restore adrenal function. One of them is maca, M-A-C-A, which people can get in their health food stores, and it's very common in Peru. And it grows it's a root that grows at the highest altitude. Now, there's cheaper forms of maca where they're now cultivating at lower levels, but those don't have the ingredient that's necessary to regenerate the body. Any plant that can survive and thrive under extremely high altitude, which is a low oxygen environment, has to produce particular enzymes, which are called repair enzymes, necessary to repair the DNA damage that occurs when you're in a low oxygen environment. Well, when you're under stress, your body's in a low oxygen environment. And these plants have a rich source of enzymes, the same enzymes our body would make if we were not under stress, but we were living at a very high altitude. So the plants make the same enzymes that our body makes. That's why you can buy plant-sourced enzymes and help your digestion. Well, likewise, you can get these special repair enzymes, which they don't extract the enzymes, but they just happen to be concentrated in a few of the superfoods. One is maca. Another is
now, what is maca?
M-A-C-A. It's a root. It's a little plant that grows in the Andes at the highest altitude, where everything else is dead. Nothing else can survive there. Maca survives. And it is amazing. I give it a tablespoon a day with some other superfoods, but you got to get the tablespoon a day of maca. And women's hot flashes stop in a couple of days. I mean, women are plagued by this, and then suddenly they find that something as simple as maca can change that around. And they don't need to get blood tests, hormone tests, or anything to take maca. You just go and take maca, and you know, my recommendation is you can put it in a little apple juice with water, or you can put it in a nutritional shake. I'm a big fan of whey protein shakes if it's the right kind of whey protein, because helps the brain function better. But just sticking to maca for a minute, the maca because it grows at high altitudes, it has to generate these repair enzymes. Now today, there's a product in the market which is way overpriced and way expensive. It doesn't even do as well as maca, in my opinion, and that's called resveratrol. That's
the offshoot of red wine, right?
Yeah, exactly. When they say red wine helps you live long, healthy lives, there's lots of research now. Now, $1 billion. The patent for one particular resveratrol was bought for $1 billion by one of the big drug companies, and the people that made that are all saying everybody else's doesn't work, and there's a lot of research saying this one worked and that one worked. And there's the big buzz on resveratrol is they show these little rats, and they say one rat was given resveratrol and the other rat was not. And you see the rat with resveratrol is running just running on a wheel continuously, and the other one is slowed down and going to sleep. Well, what people don't realize is you could have given that rat caffeine, and it would have been doing that. I mean,
a little cup of coffee, right?
You could give the rat, so it would run longer. So let's not be fooled by a film, but let's also recognize that there's a truth to resveratrol. When a grape skin has lots of resveratrol, what makes it anti-aging and rejuvenating to the body is that it has these repair enzymes, and you only get resveratrol in concentrated amounts when you take grapes and you put them, and you grow a fungus on them, and the fungus then depletes oxygen absorption, and so then the grapes, because they're being stressed in this way, will produce the anti-stress enzymes, which are good for people. But it's hard to know the quality of the resveratrol you're getting. If you just get these plants, these herbs that grow at these super high altitudes, you're insured of getting these repair enzymes. Another one of my favorite superfoods that has the repair enzymes is goji berries. You probably heard of those.
Right. Oh, I've had some. They taste pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, goji berries are great, and they're good. They're good tasting. They have 500 times more vitamin C, which is a super adrenal rebuilder. When you take vitamin C, guess where it goes? It goes right to the adrenal gland first. The adrenal gland has to have vitamin C in high doses to cope with stress. So if you're wanting to help the adrenal gland, you take high doses of vitamin C. But even better, you take goji berries, which are super concentrated vitamin C. And when I was in the Himalayas in Tibet, I almost died of hypothermia doing mountain climbing there. And these old people took care of me, and they would all drink the goji berry tea. And they were drinking the goji berries that grew at the high altitudes. So I think goji berries at all altitudes are good because they all have a high content of vitamin C and other benefits. But the ones that grow at the high altitudes, those would be the Himalayan goji berries. Those are going to have the actual repair enzymes in them and be more effective. There's a huge amount of Chinese lore all about, the strength that warriors got and the builders when they built the Great Wall and so forth. They would eat the goji berries, and then there's another product out of Russia and also in China, which is only in the Caucasian mountains, which is called Arctic root. And it grows, the modern name for that is rhodiola. And that's now very common in health food stores. Really good for kids with ADD, ADHD, but for anybody, because they've proven, this is one where there's actually double-blind studies proving that it produces more dopamine and serotonin in the brain, a natural support for the brain to lower stress levels. And again, it's Arctic root. It grows at the highest altitudes in freezing cold weather. It will thrive. And these plants that can do that, they have this repair enzyme in them that's amazingly beneficial to us if we get it in the right amount. If you just took a little maca, it doesn't do much. But if you take a bunch of rhodiola and a bunch of goji and a bunch of maca, you now have some superfoods that can help the body. There's other kinds of superfoods, but they're great. I'm pretty excited because what's coming out now with my book is also a line of superfoods combinations in grocery stores, and I have one called Venus Calm and Mars Revive, which has the maca in it, and the goji berries and lots of other things that helps the brain. But you can buy these things separately, and people need to know that these are ancient foods that have been sort of exclusive for the people who, the ruling class, so to speak. They were, they would use them to live long and healthy lives. And in some cases, maca, because it grows wild, and goji berries, it's actually very common. But the knowledge of it has been kind of secret.
John, what about this craze, this acai? How did they
acai. Let me see. It's not acai, but it's acai. It's acai. From Brazil.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. And let me give you the scoop on that. First of all, it's also in my Venus Revive and Mars Calm. Because what it does, it's not a superfood like these other ones. It doesn't have the repair enzyme. But what it does, it's a bit of a... people lose weight or appear to lose weight quickly primarily because it causes water to leave your body. It's a diuretic. But it's not mainly just a diuretic. It also helps to stimulate your metabolism. And that is a good thing. And it can help people a lot. Now, I'm in the business. We were just talking earlier in the show about the FTC, that's the Federal Trade Commission, wanting to come down on supplements.